This will be a challenging one. Okay, let's see what we have. We have here Jenny Wirtz, Traitor's Knot. Okay, we're going to make this on an angle, make an interesting piece on an angle, or maybe it's got to do it straight first because it's just too high up there and it's just going to fuck it up. Okay, yeah, that looks really nice colour wise, and there it's come up looking a treat. Make it into a movement piece, I do think, now that we've got the original, we've got the master copy. So gonna now just switch it over to 100. I think that's about it. So we're going to make this into something more interesting. I don't read novels as a general rule. I was reading one a while back. It takes a lot of attention to be able to read it properly and to understand what it says, and I just don't have much ability to comprehend what I'm reading or the plot. I find I lose the plot quite easily. With books, it's really difficult. It's difficult with movies too, to fucking lose the plot, to not know what the story is. Anyway, that looks interesting, but it's not quite what I'm after. But basically, it's easy to lose the plot in watching a movie even there, but it's probably easier losing it when you're just looking at the print. It's easy to lose the plot there. Let's see how that looks. That looks interesting, but it's not quite what I'm after. It's too linear. I don't know why it's coming out like that. See if we can try that again. Yeah, it's not easy reading, but reading is good. My brother loves a good book, a good read. I don't know if he does now because he might be too busy, but he used to like reading on the toilet, which is not hygienic when you think about it, using dirty hands to handle a book. But he used to do that. He used to sit on the toilet and read, and he loved reading. Don't understand. Now I'm wondering. But basically, yeah, he just loved reading his books, and he just often did it on the toilet. He had his favourite books in the toilet, or maybe I think he just had one book at a time in the toilet where he'd finish it off. He did a lot of real shits, heavy shits in the toilet. Like he spends like regular as clockwork, spending a lot of time just shitting it out. So good opportunity to have a good read. Yeah, an opportunity indeed. But a lot of people read on the toilet. It's a common activity. It's a common way of getting your book done and getting your shit out of the way. So yeah, it's a very popular kind of thing to do. It's not my cup of tea. I've never read on the toilet myself. I never read on the toilet, but basically I used to like reading a little bit, but yes, that's what I like reading is non-fiction. I'm not a fiction person like my brother was. I'm a non-fiction. I like to read about facts, like about science and that, although I have had brain damage at birth, which destroyed parts of the brain that are responsible for me being able to comprehend or being able to learn stuff. The hippocampus and the short-term memory, I do believe, have been severely damaged, so I can't enjoy. That's probably why I can't follow the plot so easily, because of what has happened. So yeah, it's really sad that I haven't got the ability to read this shit, to be able to understand. And when I look things up on Google, I just can't understand how it works. I can't absorb it. I want to know about something to do with science or technology or whatever else. Now this just seems to be going across like that. So I'm really get upset that I can't grasp all these abstract concepts. I really do. It upsets me that I can't learn the things that interest me. But they'll have technology one day. They'll have technology to fix the broken parts of my brain, to replace them with technology, with computers, supercomputers, quantum computers. And one day I'm going to become CEO of a future photocopier company, which is going to make a lot of money, but most of the money will go towards science and humanitarian causes. And I'm going to also be a scientist and use that money to make these scientific discoveries, like how to end climate change. So I do have dreams one day that when they have the technology, that I can overcome these limitations that currently frustrate and cause problems for me. And I do. I'm looking forward to one day doing these things. And I do put my trust in the future of technology and the people behind it who can make these future dreams come true. So yeah, and basically I won't have to fucking feel pissed off and frustrated with my limitations because they won't be around anymore. That'll be worthy of celebration, folks, to finally have the ability to learn shit and to retain the information and make some use to help others in this broken up, climate change ravaged world that we currently live in. Let's see how this one comes out. Let's see how that looks. That looks interesting. That looks really quite nice. And that looks nice, that bit of green. But yeah, we got to have dreams, folks. We've got to have hopes. We can't just allow the present and the past to fuck things up. We got to fucking think of what is possible. And we got to do it with a spirit of caring for others as well as yourself, and you doing things that you're passionate about. Like my passion is photocopiers, and I also love science, so I'm going to make a difference there and in more ways than one. And I want other people to benefit from it, people less fortunate than myself. And maybe, there'll be lots of philanthropy, lots of money to be given away, scientific and humanitarian causes. I just wish the world could be full of people like that now, instead of money fucking idiots who just love money and that's it. And they just take the photocopier industry and make it into a joke, into a nightmare, and make rubbish, Our photocopiers are going to be created out of mostly recycled materials, and those materials are going to be mined mainly from e-waste dumps around the world, and we're going to clean up the mess that these idiots that we know now have created for places like India and China, which are huge e-waste dumps, and we need to clean that up and make a future. The future photocopier is going to last 60 years, not 5 years, and basically it'll be made in such a way that it's easy to recycle. Pulling it apart will be easy, and it'll be easy to recycle. So we've got to really think about the future, folks. We've got to think about what the world holds. We're not going to know about the future. I'm not trying to say that I'm a soothsayer. Sorry. But basically, we've got to think of the future, not to fear it, but we've got to think of solutions to the problems of this world as well. We can't just think of ourselves anymore. We can't just think, how much money can I make for me? That's the way that companies like Konica Minolta work. Shoei Yamana, the CEO, is like that. You can tell in the shit that he builds. All this plastic, all this rubbish doesn't last. I had to replace this. This photocopier was a replacement for an old machine. That's not good enough. And I really hate that attitude of making money over everything else. It's just so annoying that I had to fucking replace that damn equipment, because I would have loved to have not had to spend more money buying a machine, putting it on a bank loan. I couldn't afford it straight up. So I'm telling you, this money fucking's got to stop. We've got to think of the future and what we can do for future generations to help them, not hinder them or rip them off, so to speak. Anyway, that looks interesting. I think now we can call this demo quits.